Hello Pisces, I'm Empress Rose and welcome to your reading. These are of course general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't. Check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus for additional information or something that might resonate more. Also contact me if you'd like a personal reading. And these are all pre-shuffled and prepared. I find it a very private experience that I do before I turn on the camera. All right, we're going to start with the Oracle of Mystical Moments to give me an intuitive vibe of where we're going with this reading. What do we have for Pisces? What is the message Pisces needs to hear right now? The time that you watch this, what is the message that Pisces needs to hear? What is the message that Pisces needs to hear? Okay, we'll take that. What is the message that Pisces needs to hear? Damn, Pisces. What is the message that Pisces needs to hear? I'll get there. I'll tell you. Believe me. Okay, one more. Do we have one more for Pisces? Okay, we'll take that one. Okay. Yeah, that's too many. We do have night and day at the bottom of this pile it produced, which is sort of a Piscean card. Oh dear, we've got fours. We gotta stop doing this. Nothing or everything. What is this? All right. Well, this is the card that came out for you, and you recently got this one. Again, House of Flowers. So this was reminding me of Jane Eyre the other day, of just this simple, plain looking thing, but inside it is this lush, overflowing, extremely generous space. It's isolated. It's up on the hill. So this could be talking about, you know, the isolation and the quarantining going on here. This home up on the hill, which just looks so plain, so basic, but inside there is a richness, a generosity, bursting forth with life. And here we have two sisters or two friends right here. They're both dressed in white. It could be two brides. It could be, I think of Emily Dickinson when I see this card. She's dressed in white. So there's just this sort of, there's a home that seems isolated and seems lonely up on this hill, but it's really not. It's full of life and generosity. We have this, can you hear me? This is a difficulty communicating emotional ideas. So there's a deep emotion. I love that this is for Pisces because this is, again, a very Piscean card with the water and we're submerged in the water, but we're not sure that we're being heard. We're not sure that our message can get out there. We're not sure that we can communicate all of this that's under the surface, all of this that's deep within us. We want to communicate. We want to reach out. We want to say what's on our mind and what we're thinking. But there's also like a sense of hopelessness and giving up and just like, is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? Is it, or it could be a very specific person, this other person in this thing of wanting to communicate, but not having faith that what's inside you is actually going to be heard as it is inside you. So there's a little bit of sadness here of just not feeling that you can communicate. You've grown a lot. You've grown quite a bit. We have the spiral represented here twice, which is these cycles, going through cycles in our life. But each time we come to the same part of the same cycle, we've grown a little bit. And that's the spiral image of growth as we go through the cycles and deal with the themes that we're all given to deal with throughout our lifetimes. Not that we all have the same themes, but you have your individual themes. And I'm sure at some point you've realized that, I'm back here again. Okay. Oh, I'm back here again. But this time I know a little more. I learned the lessons from last time and I know a little more. So you've learned and you're not quite sure, though, that the world is going to be receptive to what you've learned and what's inside you. And you're having a little bit of self-doubt. Here we have two very similar cards. We have Pure Nature and the Red Garden. In both of these, you are a flower, you are passion. In this one, again, we have a message not sent, something that's on your mind, an idea that you're thinking about. But you tend this garden of yourself. You're looking to the past with some rose-colored glasses, actually. You're very nostalgic in this, and you're looking at something. Yeah, with these rose-colored glasses on. This flower shows up in several different, I need to find out what kind of flower that is. It shows up in several different cards here. And it's not a big showy, ta-da, these are your big show flowers. They're not, they're a little hidden. They're starting to show and peep through this plain house. But this flower is a little private, a little secret, a little, it doesn't, I don't know if you can see it right there, but it doesn't like open up and go, hey world. It's one of the flowers that kind of droops and is like, well, bees, if you want something special, you gotta kind of get a little closer. I'm not gonna broadcast it. I'm not gonna shout about it, but, and I think maybe part of you is like, just thinking, you know, maybe my flower is not very big. It's not very showy. Is anyone even going to understand it? Are bees going to come if I'm just if I'm a more private flower? So I think there is like a sense of being sort of stuck in your privacy and feeling private about something, but also concerned that that's not, that you're not going to be able to that wanting to communicate something that's very private, I think, is what I'm getting. You're looking back at some things with rose-colored glasses for sure. And then here is Pure Nature. This is sort of an adolescence vibe of blossoming and becoming, because here we have the bud and here we have the full blossom. So, and here we have an adolescent girl. So you are blossoming and growing into it's a spiral energy. You've leveled up, you're moving up, you've transformed. You're adulting. Something inside of you, there's a passion that's transforming you, that's sort of bringing you into, out of like a pupal stage of something. And I mean that pupil and pupa all. So you're changing from like I'm surprised we don't have a butterfly here, honestly, but you're changing from you know, the caterpillar stage to the butterfly stage. So you're in the middle of some part of you. You can be any age, of course, but some part of you is transforming and blossoming and growing. And I see roses here several times. The issue is this communication. So there's something inside you that's blooming and growing and wants to get out, but you're not sure you're ready to communicate it, and you have lost a little faith that if you communicate it, it's actually going to be effective and you're going to be heard if you start talking about what's been going on inside you. We're moving to the Santa Muerte deck, and I've pre-shuffled these. This is just my nervous shuffle before I jump in. All right. Pisces, this is your past. Whoa, not doing it that way. This is your past. This is your present. This is your inner landscape. This is that issue. This is your environment, to-do list, and a possible outcome. All right. Whew. Okay. We again have this this recent past, this Eight of Pentacles, this having a treasure and holding on to it, which is what I'm seeing, this sort of private thing that you know, this burst of these flowers that have been kept in this house. So so you've got something, you've got a treasure of some kind, and you're being very secretive about it. You're being very low down about it. You're playing your cards very close to your chest. You're holding on to your coins. I'm seeing gambling chips, and just you're keeping them very close to you. This is something very precious to you, and you've been sort of hanging out with it, with something that's very precious to you. You've got a crown here, a crown of white roses. So it's a very sort of pure and innocent thing that it's been on your mind, and you've been very much hunkered down with this thing that's very precious to you. It could be actually money. You might have some money and you're not telling anybody about it. You have something that's precious to you, and you've been, in the recent past, you've been just very happy to hold on to it and to keep it. In your present situation, though, you are neck deep, heart deep in some feelings here. We're seeing the same water energy, the same half submerging thing here. And you've got a lot on your mind. You're trying to sort something out on your mind. This is sort of my like sit in the hot tub and chill card and figure out how you're feeling and what you're feeling and looking at your feelings. You're looking at your feelings and trying to figure them out. What the hell is going on with them? There's been sort of some changes. We've got moonlight here, so you're not working with in the sun. You're not working with this bright clarity. You're working with a lot of like shadows and reflections and a silver light, not a gold light. So there is light, and you are sorting it out, but you're in this process of sorting out what's on your mind and deep in your feels as you do this, okay? This is a high desert lake. The storm has come through, and in the Ace of Pentacles, we see the deluge transforming this high desert plateau in which nothing is growing. It's just beginning to transform it into this pond full of life. And here we see it later on, and we're kind of trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Like the sky is clearing, the wind is clearing out the clouds, and there's this barren landscape, and all of a sudden we were plunged into this deep emotional space inside this barren landscape. And we're trying to figure out what it means, and what we need to do about it, if anything. It's very confusing. I mean, the good thing is that these emotions have some clarity. They're not muck. It's not a deep mud or a toxic brew. It's clarity. It's supporting life. We have a lotus flower coming up, and of course those do need some muck at the bottom, but there's some stillness here, and you're gaining some clarity in this stillness. Your inner landscape is like the inner landscape card, one of them. This is the High Priestess. This is going deep within into this darkness. So I'm seeing you working inside some dark, doing inner work, and of course our insides are a little dark and murky. You have this throne of swords that you're sitting on. You have again this message, this bird, this parakeet on your shoulder that could be talking, that should be talking maybe, but is not talking. You're keeping your messages to yourself. You have a key here to open something, and you're trying to read about how it is that you open this thing, how it is that you open up this home and this house and this heart that's changed and so full of life and so full of generosity. And how do you open that up? You're sitting on this throne is swords, so there's been some pain. There's also a crescent moon here, so you are this is not full light. That's being referenced here as well. There's not full light. Here's your crown as well, your white crown, your white sort of throne, the sort of halo around you. But this moonlight, there's not even a lot of it. So you're really working in the dark here. You're working in your dark insides and trying to figure something out. You do have a key. You're reading. So you need to do a lot of reading here, finding some book is going to have some message for you here. And you've got your little companion, this message that you'd like to speak, but you're not quite sure how to or when to. You're not quite ready to, I think is what it is. At issue, okay, Virgo just got this. The 9 of at their issue, their 9 of Swords. So this is something inside of you that has been maybe a little delusional or a little, so that the 9 of Swords in the upright is some sort of self-delusion or pain we've taken in instead of talking about it. There's some sort of anxiety. This is the nightmare card. So this is when, but we're in a sanctuary, so we're actually safe. We are the priest of the sanctuary, so we're actually in charge of our own headspace. And somehow something we've done has created our own anxiety. We've either interpreted something wrong, and we need to go back and actually, you know, make our list of facts of who actually said what and actually did what versus our interpretations of those facts. So this is normally a card of getting some more clarity or of anxiety. And there's not, sometimes anxiety and depression just come upon us. And sometimes it's created by poor mental hygiene, allowing thoughts that aren't in our best interests or aren't even true to come in and rule us. But this is in the reversal. So I'm taking this as you're waking up from that. And so that can create an issue with shame, with embarrassment of how we've believed certain things, we've thought certain things. And maybe this is part of this looking back with rose-colored glasses, and maybe we're taking those glasses off and seeing something in a different light. And when we realize that we've had sort of a lack of mental clarity, a lack of, that some of our problems that we've been facing, we have caused ourselves. When we start waking up to that, it can be really beautiful, but there can also be a shame element, and being embarrassed about ourselves and being embarrassed about the way we let our mind run rampant. So at issue, I believe, could be some shame issues, some embarrassment, but there's no embarrassment here. We're all just human beings muddling through this whole thing. We're all just getting into pickles, sometimes just problems in our minds, and finding our ways out of them. And I think that that's just the whole path and the whole part of human existence. So if you're feeling shame or embarrassment as you're starting to have some realizations and starting to grow, just, you know, when you learn better, you do better. And that's basically the height of human health is to keep learning, keep growing. And you know, waking up from this depression and anxiety is great. Overall, this is a good thing. You might have some frustrations with it, but you know, overall, it's good. So that's your issue, is this waking up to having fucked up somehow, and possibly just in your own mind, just having fucked up your own mind. But you're waking up and you're doing that. In your environment, you have a person who is sick of fighting. They don't want to fight anymore. They don't want to argue anymore. They totally can. They are coming back from the war, which means that they didn't die in the war. They're still alive. There's someone in your life who is still alive and still fighting, can still fight. She's got her sword. My God, she would like to put it down. She'd like to throw it into the sea. She's done. She's sick of it. She's done fighting. But she still has it, and she can still cut you. She can still cut anybody. She can still be very sharp. This is in your environment. So I'm going to say that in your environment, you know, position here. So I'm going to say this is a person that is not you. There's somebody you know, and they're tired of fighting. They don't want to do it anymore. They could, but they're putting their sword away, and they'd just far rather just head home. To-do list. Holy moly, honey, you got the 8 of Swords. This is charging forward. This is taking this horn and blowing the shit out of it. Like, just communicating massive, passionate, inspired communication. All of these roses we're seeing, unleash the roses. That's what this is. Who let the roses out? Who? Oh my God, that was the dorkiest thing I think I could have said. But we're talking about unleashing unleashing this stuff, pushing it out, letting it go, letting it fly into the world. These roses, you want to communicate. Look at it. Is this singing? Is he singing? Is he laughing? Is he whatever? These roses are coming out and they're charging forward. They're a blur. They're coming out so fast. So this is what it's saying. Communicate. Let these roses out. Let these roses. Yeah, you've got this depression and this. No one's going to hear me. How are they going to hear me? But, you know, unleash the roses. Let them go. Let them charge forward. This is a charge of the roses. This ain't no rose parade. This is a rose army, and you're gonna let it go. You're letting this rose power, this transformation inside you. Your to-do list is to unleash that stuff. And your possible outcome is a little more. And then we go one foot in front of the other. Through our ideas, through our thoughts, we go plodding along, walking along our path. Maybe this is an actual journey. It's not a quick journey. It's so funny because this is like, put on the gas. Everybody go, 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 go. Move, move, move. Words, words, words. Roses, roses, roses. Grow, 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 grow. And then this is like, okay, and now back to a human pace. Now we plod. Now we go back to a sane pace, a sane stepping along our path, along moving through these ideas, moving forward. It's the Five of Pentacles, if you want to know. It's like literally not a very inspired card in this deck. I do not like it. But it is just that work, just doing the work now. Say what you need to say and then back it up with some work. Back it up with actually moving, putting one foot in front of the other on this journey. And yeah, you know, say this is talk, talk, talk. This is the hard work, the hike up. Walk there. This is walking the talk. Basically, we've got, yeah, talk, but make sure you follow it up with walking the talk. Don't just unleash those roses on the world and say a bunch of big flowery things. Embody those things. Bring those things into your journey. Move forward with those things. Okay. So unleash the roses and back it up. Back up what you're going to say with actions, with movement, with movement in the real world. That's the Five of Pentacles. All right, Pisces, I hope that this was helpful for you. I thought it was a pretty cool little ride here that we went on. So please do like, subscribe, comment, and help my little baby channel grow week by week. Thank you for watching.